So this is going to be the quick version of all that's to come to the No Limits Gound-up firmware redesign. The No Limits is now going to be available for way more vehicles other than just the DTs and the JTs. I'm going to go through each menu. I'm not going to be able to show you everything that it does at this time, but I'll give you an explanation, and then there'll be a longer video coming out with, of course, more walkthroughs and tutorials of how to install the product. Right now, let's just go over all the menus, and this will help you have a better understanding of the product that you're going to purchase, or if you already have the product that you're going to update to, because it really is basically a brand new product. Now, one of the major changes with the No Limits redesign is there's no turning it on or off as there was with the older version. The older version, you had to hold down an arrow button, hit the ignition, the hazards would flash 5 times, and you would know if it was on or if it was off. Now there's a whole different menu where you hold down the cancel button. So let's get right to it. Let's go through each menu option that you'll find in the EVIC screen. And to start, well, I'll show you the very first feature that I love, where when I turn on the vehicle, nothing happens, the brakes lock up, the ignition doesn't even turn over until I put in my code. In this case for the video, I put in the paddle shifter 4 times to make it easier to film. To access your No Limits menu, you're either gonna just go to run or have your ignition on as it is now. Next thing you wanna do is just right here, hold down your cancel button for about 5 seconds. And you'll see No Limits pop up. There it is. And right now I did turn off the radio, and that's why it said no music. This is a 7-inch radio, and there seems to be a little bit of a communication delay. So it often says updating, which you'll see. Now, as you can see, it did time out. So let's go back into the menu by holding our cancel button for, again, about 5 seconds. There it is. Now you're gonna cycle through this menu by hitting cancel, and we'll go to the next thing. Speed limit will be, well, that's what you're gonna set your speed limiter to. So you can go all the way up to, well, whatever the heck you want. 200 miles an hour, all the way down to, you could set it to 50 miles an hour if you don't want to go over that. And the way I'm navigating this menu is, of course, up and down here on this side of the steering wheel. So we could go down to, you know, whatever. And if you hold it down, it will cycle by about 10, like it's doing. I'm gonna go all the way back to 200, and you'll see that after 200, it will go to stock, which totally fine with me, which this is the 392, so we're limited to about 99 miles per hour. And again, it timed out. So there is actually a little hack to get around that. Let me show you. Hold that down again. Hit cancel to go to the next item. The best way to just stay in the menu, say you're reading the manual, is just cycle up and down to stay in the No Limits menu. Of course, this is not what you're gonna be doing. You're just gonna be setting and going on to the next one. I'm gonna hit cancel again to go on to the next one. This is torque limit, where you can set it completely off, where you're not limited at all. You could set it to stock, which is normal, or again, you have a percentage that you can go through, and if you hold it down, it will jump by 10%. I'm gonna set it back to where it has no limitations on the torque. So my torque limit is off. I'm gonna hit cancel to go to the next item. And here we have sport on and off, which I am cycling with the up and down, set plus, set minus. I wanna have sport on, and I'm gonna go to the next one. For low, power off. Power on or off. Cancel. And MDS on or off. Well, I hate MDS, so I am going to turn that off. Hitting cancel again, going to the next one. Is your vehicle tuned? Now real quick, before we move past this one, it's not just whether your vehicle is tuned or not, but if you're getting a replaced PCM. So if you're tuning your PCM, this is what you want to turn on before you get your PCM tuned. See, the No Limits can actually block the P1400 code. Super beneficial for you that are changing your PCM, but you need to have the No Limits installed and this feature turned on first, and then get your PCM tuned. Next one, top speed. This is actually tracking your top speed, and when you press set plus, it resets it back to 0. Now here's the big one, security. When you hit set plus, this is how you're gonna access this menu. As you can see, it says enter code. You know my code. It's 4 times right here. 3, and 4. Now we're in the security menu. As you can see, RF hub blocking is on. Of course, I want to keep that on. That's an awesome feature. Hit cancel to go to the next one. Brake lock, that's when it locks up your brakes, which we want. Tamper on. If anybody starts messing with your RF hub or anything gets triggered, it will trigger that and everything will lock down. No start, probably my favorite feature. Doesn't even start the vehicle, which you saw earlier in the video. And again, I'm just cycling on and off so I can stay in the menu and still talk to you guys. Let's move on to the next one. We want this on. That's one of the best features. No torque. We're going to put that on as well. If somebody tries to steal our vehicle, it's not going to have any torque, so we can't do much of anything. And panic, yeah, we could keep that on. Lock mode, auto. This one is pretty cool. As you can see, we have a few different options here. Again, I'm hitting set plus and set minus to navigate these. We have auto, we have off, we have the TaZer, or the IGLA. So what lock variation do you have? Do you have a TaZer with pin lock? Do you have an IGLA code? Of course, we're just going to set it to auto because we just have the no limits. And I'll discuss more in the future when this is fully compatible and running. Run lock, definitely want that on. This is a really cool feature. I'll show you in a minute. Quick lock, again, another cool feature, which I'll have to show you. These are all shortcuts as well as quick valet. Change code, this one's quite easy. You're gonna hit up, then you're gonna enter your old code, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. And then you're gonna enter your new code and might as well just do 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Confirm your code, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is just for the video. That won't be my code. Now, after you change your code, it does exit out of the menu completely, but there is one more item, so we're gonna head back in. And the boss might change this, so the last menu item is before the change code option. Not totally sure, but let's get into it. So holding down cancel for 4 to 5 seconds. Here we are in the menu. I'm just gonna keep hitting cancel to get to the very end. You saw all these items. And here it is, Teen Valet. To get into that, hit set plus. Well, first you have to enter your code. You don't want your teen or valet to get through this. So you saw that I changed it to 4 of those. And first, you're gonna wanna enable it by set plus. Cancel to go to the next one. Do we want your teen or valet to have that max speed of 25 miles per hour? You can do that. Of course, if your teen is gonna drive your car, you probably want them to have, legal limits. So we'll do 55 miles per hour, and then the next one would be max torque. You really could limit them to 10% max torque, which that thing is barely moving. That's like crawling on the beach or some back roads in the woods. You are barely getting anywhere, but yes, you can set it to that. And then when you hit cancel, that's the end of the menu. Okay, now finally, let's show you the shortcuts that are built into the No Limits, and that would be run lock, quick lock, and teen valet mode. Now the first one we're gonna do is run lock. And again, you have to make sure that they are enabled in your No Limits menu. So let's just double check to make sure all those are turned on, which I know they are since we just went through this. So in your security menu, I'm gonna put my code in again to get in here. Hit cancel to go through. So we have, not that one, we have run lock, which is on. We have quick lock, and we have quick valet on. Perfect. So now we can just exit out of this, go right to the end, and then we're done here. All right, so let's do run lock first. One use case that you would have with this is, say you want to leave your vehicle running, you just want to run into the store. Maybe you have your kid or your dog in the car and you want to keep the AC running, so you don't want to shut the vehicle off. Well, this is a good way to lock the vehicle and lock the brakes without having to fully shut off the vehicle and lock your car. All you have to do is hold your cancel button and then open your door. So this might be a little tricky holding the camera. So hold cancel and then, oh boy, and then open the door and you'll see run lock pop up on your screen. The brakes are as pressed in as possible. and your accelerated pedal is extremely limited. I mean, extremely. Obviously, you could take the key with you to lock the door if you really wanted to. And then when you get back in, as I said, everything is fully locked up. You can even put it in drive, right? And I'm holding that down. We are not going anywhere. And as soon as I put in my pin, now my foot is on the brake for this because it will immediately just disengage. Very, very cool feature. Now the next one would be teen valet mode, which, as mentioned earlier, you would set those parameters beforehand. We have it at like 55 or 60 miles per hour for our teen, but teen and valet is under the same shortcut. So say you want your valet to not go over more than 15 miles per hour, but you want your teen to hit 60 miles per hour. Well, you're gonna have to change it in those specific situations before you engage this mode. So now you know. Hold down your resume button and then open the door. Hold resume, open the door, and valet mode is now engaged. Okay, now here's the cool thing about valet mode. I turn the vehicle off as if I was a valet or a teen taking the vehicle. I get back in and it's not gonna ask for a code because, well, the valet needs to bring the vehicle back to you or the teen needs to use it for the day. So when I start it up, it starts up normally, but again, the torque and the speed limit is reduced to whatever parameters you set it to, and it will say enter code. So using that mode, all those other features of like not being able to turn on your vehicle, the ignition will turn on, you'll be able to drive the vehicle, but it will be reduced to those parameters of the torque and the speed limit that you set it to. And then you disengage it by putting in the proper code, which you would know, and not your valet and not your teen. Now this last one is really cool as well. This one has to do with set plus and set minus and then turning off your vehicle. So right now we have our pin set up where, you know, the ignition doesn't turn on, the brakes lock up and all that, and everything else is on. If we don't want to have to put in our code, all you have to do, and this is after you already put in the code, so you already accessed your vehicle, I will hold down set minus to disengage having a code, set minus, and then I turn off the vehicle. So again, a little challenge here holding the camera. Set minus, turn off the vehicle. You'll see the hazards flash twice, and now when I turn my vehicle back on, it's not gonna ask for a code. See that? It starts right up. Now that is a convenience if you want to go to a dealership or car wash or anything like that. The thing is though, if you're going to a dealership, we do recommend turning off tamper mode and the ARF hub blocking in case they need to get into those modules. If you want to quickly re-engage your code, all you have to do is the opposite. Your vehicle needs to be on. To re-engage, you're just gonna hold down your set plus, right? Plus turns it on, minus turns it off, hit set plus, and then turn off your vehicle. And again, hazards will flash. And now when you start up your vehicle again, well, nothing turned on, the brakes locked up, and now we're not going anywhere until we input our code. Now there are two other modes that we did not talk about because we were using the 392 Wrangler JL, and those two modes are hyper mode and 4xe power mode. See, the 4xe mode is basically full power in two-wheel drive for the 4xe, and this is our 392, so it doesn't even show up in the 392 menu. And the other one is hyper mode, which is available in all compatible models of the No Limits besides the Jeeps. Our Challenger is currently out of commission, and the Boss has the TRX, so I couldn't show you that mode. But hyper mode is really, really cool. I made a quick short video about it, so I'll link the link to that video down in the description, so please check that out. Okay, so there you have it. That's the quick rundown of every menu item in the new ground-up redesigned firmware of the No Limits module. As mentioned, there will be another video coming out for all the installs of all these different vehicles that's going to be compatible with. But if you'd like to see the installation for the Jeep JL and JT, please check out this video over here. Although the features are not all the same because it is a complete redesign. It's basically a brand new product, but same hardware, so the installation is the same. Check it out.